This man will be our hero, for fate will make him indestructible. His name, Captain Scarlet.
But that's suicide. He wouldn't stand a chance.
There is a chance, Fireflash.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know the sound. You don't need to hear it right now. It's already playing in your head. That 5-note brass hit, the countdown, the launch sequence you could recite before you could tie your shoes. Gerry Anderson gave a generation of kids something that Saturday morning cartoons couldn't touch. The feeling that the world was genuinely in danger and that the people saving it were cool. This ranking comes from one angle only, not what the critics said, not what holds up technically, but what made a 9-year-old sit closer to the television. There are shows on this list that never got a fair chance, and shows that defined entire childhoods depending on which decade you grew up in. The show at number 1 isn't the one most people name first. By the time we get there, you'll understand why. If old sci-fi, old puppets, and old glory are your thing, hit subscribe. Let's count down.
I bring water.
Number 10. Four Feather Falls, 1960. A frontier town. A sheriff named Tex Tucker. A horse that talks, a dog that talks, and 2 pistols that fire themselves when trouble shows up. Four Feather Falls is a western made entirely out of puppets in 1960, 6 years before anyone had properly figured out what to do with the format. It looks rough. It moves slow. It is completely sincere. The moment that stays is Rocky the horse turning toward the camera and speaking, and the kid watching realizing for the first time that these things could have personalities, that they could carry a scene entirely on their own terms. That moment didn't really belong to Four Feather Falls. It belonged to everything that came after it. It earns its place not for what it was, but for what it proved was possible. Without it, none of the others exist, and that's not a small thing.
You been talking to yourself again, Father?
No, Mrs. Appleby.
Number 9. The Secret Service, 1969. A country vicar named Father Unwin doubles as a British intelligence agent. His cover is his own incompetence. His weapon is a device that shrinks his assistant, Matthew Harding, to about 4 inches tall. At which point, Matthew climbs into a model car and drives around inside real locations filmed at full scale. The result feels like it was made by someone who had 2 very different budgets and decided to use both simultaneously. The shot that stays. Matthew, tiny, steering a miniature car through the legs of a real dinner table while real people argued above him, the camera tracking along at floor level. For a kid catching it in reruns, that raised a question that took years to answer. How did they actually do that? 13 episodes, canceled before it found its footing, quietly forgotten by most. It didn't land with kids the way it should have, but it belongs on any honest list of Anderson's work.
As I feared, Lieutenant 90, a missile,
According to the computer, it's carrying a planetomic bomb.
which is powerful enough to destroy the whole Earth.
Number 8. Fireball XL-5, 1962 to 1963. Steve Zodiac flies Fireball XL-5 through Sector 25 of the galaxy on patrol for the World Space Patrol. He's got Venus as his co-pilot, Robert the Robot in the nose, and a ship that separates into 2 vehicles mid-mission. It's 1962. The space race is happening in real life, and a puppet show about a man who flies to other planets every week felt, to a kid in Ohio or Birmingham, like a preview of something actually coming. The moment the nose cone detached and fired ahead of the main ship, you understood the show had been hiding a second vehicle the whole time. That design logic, the machine that becomes more than it appears, runs like a thread through everything Anderson built after it. Fireball XL-5 is rougher than what followed, and Robert the Robot's voice is genuinely an acquired taste. But it proved there was a real international audience for this kind of show, and Anderson spent the next decade building directly for that audience.
It has, Sam. You'll see. Joe. Good. Now we can begin.
Is this it, Dad?
This is it.
Number 7. Joe 90, 1968 to 1969. A 9-year-old sits inside a rotating cage, puts on a pair of oversized glasses, and has the complete knowledge and skills of an adult expert transferred directly into his brain. Then he goes on a spy mission. Joe McClane is the World Intelligence Network's most valuable asset. Not because he's brave or trained or resourceful, but because nobody suspects a child. The show understood something about power and childhood that most kids' television never touched. The big rat transfer sequence, cage spinning, concentric light patterns, Joe's eyes going wide and then calm. and the moment the glasses came off and he stood up carrying someone else's confidence. It raised a question without a clean answer. Is Joe still Joe after that? The concept is a 9. The execution landed closer to a 7. The missions didn't always match the premise's ambition, and the show ended before it ever pushed the identity question as far as it could have gone. But that unanswered question still sits there, waiting for a show brave enough to pick it back up.
It has been established beyond reasonable doubt that this was no normal act of war.
Number 6. Stingray, 1964 to 1965. The World Aquanaut Security Patrol's submarine Stingray prowls the ocean floor, encountering civilizations that have been there longer than we have and resent the intrusion. Troy Tempest is at the controls, phones beside him. And Marina, a mute aquatic alien who chose the crew over her own people, sits in the quarters and looks out at the water she came from. The ocean in Stingray isn't a backdrop, it's a mood. The image that holds, Marina at the surface, watching Stingray disappear beneath the waves, and the silence where music should have been. Anderson had never done that before, used the absence of sound to tell you what a character couldn't say. It was the first time his world felt genuinely lonely, and it landed harder than any action sequence in the show. Stingray built the emotional vocabulary that Thunderbirds would later deploy at much greater scale. Everything it did well, something above it did more, but nothing above it did it first.
What do you think, Dr. Einstein? Well, Hero, they're definitely mechanical metamorphs.
Number 5. Terrahawks, 1983 to 1986. It's 2020. The Earth's Martian colony has been destroyed by Zelda, an android war criminal who is ancient, cracked, and delighted by cruelty. The Terrahawks, a covert defense unit led by the permanently irritated Dr. Tiger Neinstein, stands between her and the planet. The show runs on the tension between the comic and the genuinely disturbing, and it holds that balance better than it has any right to. Zelda's face filling the screen, white porcelain fissured like old paint, mouth pulling into something between a smile and a sneer. Not a villain's laugh, an old thing's laugh. The laugh of something that has been winning for a very long time and finds your resistance quietly entertaining. For kids growing up in the 1980s, Terrahawks was Anderson. They didn't have Thunderbirds in first run, they had this. And Zelda gave them a template for what a villain should be that most shows aimed at their age group never came close to matching. There's a reason she's still the first thing people from that generation mention when the show comes up.
Take Jean back to the car. I must get this.
Number 4. UFO, 1970 to 1973. Shadow, the Supreme Headquarters Alien Defense Organization, operates from beneath a film studio in England, and nobody outside it knows the war is happening. The aliens come in ships that glow green in the dark. They take humans apart for parts. Ed Straker runs the whole operation from a desk in a fake movie office, and he's been doing it so long that the cost of the secret is written plainly on his face. UFO is the first Anderson show where the adults looked tired, and where that exhaustion felt completely earned by everything the story put them through. That detail did more for a watching child than any monster could. The image that stays? An alien breaking the surface of a lake, suit intact, face wrapped in breathing liquid, rising in total silence. And the realization, a beat later, that the suit holds a human shape because of what they'd done to get one. UFO ends without resolution. The war is ongoing when the credits roll for the last time. That wasn't a mistake. It was the most honest thing Anderson ever put on screen.
Yes, Doctor.
You're really making a thorough check.
Yes, I am.
Number 3. Space, 1999, 1975 to 1977. The nuclear waste dumps on the far side of the moon detonate. The moon leaves Earth's orbit. The 311 residents of Moon Base Alpha have no way home, no destination, and no guarantee that the next planet they encounter will be anything other than hostile. The universe they travel through is genuinely alien, not the friendly enemy universe of earlier Anderson, but something vast and indifferent and very old. The image that holds, the Earth, framed in the observation window of Moon Base Alpha, getting smaller. Koenig standing there watching it go, understanding that he cannot fix this, cannot launch a rescue mission, cannot call anyone. The silence there isn't Marina's silence. It's the silence of being completely, finally, unreachably alone. Series 1 earned every bit of its reputation. Series 2 changed the show significantly. New characters, a lighter tone, a different philosophy about what the series should be. And then it was cancelled anyway. The loss isn't just the cancellation. It's Series 1 being partially replaced before the end came. A generation of fans knows exactly which version they're mourning.
They're obviously hostile. Okay, Lieutenant, let them have it.
Number 2. Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons, 1967 to 1968. Spectrum is Earth's defense force. The Mysterons are Martian intelligences who declared war after a Spectrum captain destroyed their city in a misunderstanding that was entirely humanity's fault. They responded by promising, every single episode, to kill a specific target, announcing it in advance, calmly, and then trying. The only thing between the Mysteron plan and success was Captain Scarlet, a man they'd already killed once who came back wrong and better and unable to die again. The image that stays is Captain Black on a rooftop, collar up, eyes that don't reflect light the way a person's eyes should, standing perfectly still, watching. He was on your side once. He was the best of them. Whatever he is now, he is completely, permanently lost. 32 episodes, no resolution. The Mysterons never stopped. Spectrum never won. Captain Black was never recovered. Anderson built a show that told children the truth. Some conflicts don't end, some damage isn't undone, and the people you lose to the war don't always come back as themselves.
International rescue from Thunderbird 1. Changing to horizontal flight.
Number 1. Thunderbirds, 1965 to 1966. There was one show where the moment the theme started, everything else in the room stopped. Not paused, stopped. The conversation your parents were having, the argument you were in the middle of, the thing you've been about to go outside and do. All of it because the brass hit and the countdown started, and you knew, the way you only know a handful of things before you're 10, that something was about to happen that required your full attention. A secret island in the Pacific. A family of 5 brothers, each one the best in the world at what he does. 5 machines, aircraft and submarines and spacecraft, each built for a category of rescue that nothing else could perform. International rescue operates outside government, outside jurisdiction, and entirely outside the logic of any 9-year-old's expectations about how the world works. Nobody tells them what to do. Nobody owns them. They go where the crisis is, solve it, and leave. The Tracy family made competence look like the most exciting thing on Earth. Thunderbird 2 approaching its landing pad. The green hull low over the trees. The pod doors opening. That mechanical groan, the ramp descending into the light. And then the correct vehicle rolling out for whatever crisis was waiting. Every single time, a child watching held their breath to see which pod it was. Not because they didn't trust the show, because they did. That's a rare thing to build. International Rescue was the first time television told a child, the people who save the world do it voluntarily, out of their own resources, because they decided it was the right thing to do. No government, no orders. Just 5 brothers and a father who built something extraordinary because the world needed it. That idea hit a generation of children at the exact age when they were deciding what kind of person they wanted to be. That's why it's number 1. If your number 1 is Captain Scarlet, if you think the darkness and the unresolved war and Captain Black on that rooftop earns it the top spot, make that argument in the comments. I want it. Here's what Gerry Anderson actually gave a generation. He trusted children with real stakes. Enemies that weren't defeated. Heroes who could fail. Worlds that didn't resolve. At a time when most children's television wrapped everything up in 25 minutes, Anderson left things open, and children felt the weight of that openness for the rest of their lives. Subscribe if this is your kind of argument. Next week we go inside Thunderbirds, the full rise and fall of a show that should have had 10 seasons and got 2.